about my UML have been created in here about the bank system. So the first thing is like I want to tell you a little bit about the node in here. So in order to create about the UML for other people, other like programmer to understand what I'm doing in this project, I'm exactly just using about like a minus which is private plus the public. This is for using about the attribute, and about the hash is a protected public access modifier, and how each class communicate with each other. So this is about the inherit arrow composition arrow, and then the association line. So in the inherit exactly was just like telling about I'm using the arrow to telling about all the programmer that I'm using about inherit in this case. So you can see in here, and composition in this one like it's like when you are create about the bank, if you doesn't have the bank.cs, so you was not have about the account.cs and then the bank system.cs, because like we don't have the bank, so how can we get the account and then the bank system? So that's see how composition will tell us about and about the decomposition is just like in contrast to this one. So for example, if you got like about the bank system and you got like a menu option, if you don't have about the menu option, it's still working. So yeah, this is how the difference between composition and decomposition. So association is like how how two class related to with each other, but it not really clear what association between two of them, but it's still associated. So that's the definition of association. And so in here we got like about the UML. The first thing is, like the fourth row in this one is like about telling about the class name, and then the second square here is telling about each attribute it have, and then the last table is telling about like how many method it will be using. So in here we got like about the bank.cs also doing the same thing. We got like about showing, we got like a balance which is decimal, and the access modifier is plus, which is the public. And in here I'm using about the composition arrow, because like if you don't, like I said before, if you don't have the bank, so we cannot have about the bank system the account. And zero dot dot like asterisk is telling that we can got like one account or maybe like a lot of accounts. It's starting from zero to like infinite. And the bank system, I'm also telling a one with we just got like a one bank system, right? So yeah, and about I'm also create about this one, which is telling that the thing we implemented that. So this is about my menu option I have implemented in the bank system, and this is how the role implemented represent in here. I'm using about the dot 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 and then the arrow in this case, and like this one is like the association line. I know that it's got like about some related to with each other, can communicate with each other, but we not really clear like what communicate with each of them, whether like we got like whether we need to check like whether the success, reverse, or daytime, something like that. And the transaction is about the main thing, and the subnet thing is like subnet class is the withdraw transaction, the deposit transaction, and the transfer transaction in here. And yeah, so that's the reason why I'm using this arrow. So it also have the same, except that the transaction also adding one more attribute, that which is the property success boolean read only, which can be read but cannot like like override it. So yeah, and in the method, instead of like adding about the method, we also got more thing like about the constructor. In this one we got like a transfer transaction, constructor, transaction, deposit, everything have the constructor except the bank system, because it like the like our main program how we will be running in that thing. and how it will be shown to the terminal, something like that. And I will explain about the total question, like how do you represent class, field, method, relationship in terms of the UML. So like I said before, that's it about the node, and we also got like about the class in here, about the attribute, and then the method. So it's saying like in OOP, class is visually represented as a rectangle divided into three parts. The top part is rectangle display the name of the class. The second is like the second rectangle is list the field or the attribute associated with that class. And the last thing was like showing the case the method operation. So that is how we are create about the UML before starting like programming. The next question, like describe the relationship between diagram and your code. Advantage of doing this. So there's having like a different type of lines and the arrow using the big relationship between last in UML diagram. Like I'm already tell you a little bit about the how this arrow working and the definition of it. So I will tell it again. The first thing is like association. You see a general relationship between classes shown in class. Direction association. If the relationship one way or directional, a solid Y in the arrowhead use. Aggregation when there are a whole path relationship where the path can exist independently. Solid line with a diamond shape near the parent class represented. Composition, I'm also tell you before, and inherit also. So the UML diagram visually represent your code structure. It illustrates how different class interact. Now the attribute and the method is provide a way to comprehend and then communicate your code design. So the UML example just like tell you about how the code will be doing, about the access modifier in this case, what type of it, and also like which method we will be using in that class, something like that. And they also a few benefit upgrade our UML diagram before starting the coding process. The first thing like we are planning. So the UML allow you to carefully plan the structure of your diagram before implementing it. It's have to identify issue on how reduce unnecessary effort during the implementation. And the next thing like communication, it help us like about all the programmer can see our code and can understand our code more easily instead of just looking straight a bit to the programming code. And the last thing like documentation. So documentation is like is you can access the documentation for your code, making it easier with other like or even you guys in the future to understand how the code will be working. So like if you like live in the code for a long time and then you come back, you can understand how it be working by seeing the UMLs. So the last question, like how could you use this to think through a solution before you write a code? But I will answer like by utilizing the UML to analyze solution. Writing a code can ensure that you have a defined plan and comprehensive understanding of what you need to be implemented. This approach leads to like coding practice and minimize error along the way. So in example, just like save more time to us, save more time for like debugging, and also save more time to save more like the cost to the investor. So yeah, that's it.